There we go. So we're just down here in the Skunk Works doing a little computer testing. Dave's got himself a brand new computer. Modern technology. So goodbye 2007 and hello to the new modern. So anyway, I'm just goofing down here with the midget chassis, so I just decided to go live for. Oh yeah, look at the. Okay, good. Works great. Good. 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 Yeah, it must be nice to have the new system, huh? Well, we know it is. Oh yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we were, I was sharing this with you before. This is not really a speed secret. We do this a lot. Um, you have your 1/8 axle bit here in a drill press. And if you don't have a drill press, you don't have to. You can just use a drill. Same, same thing. Um, anyway, um, we're gonna kind of break in our bushings here on the chassis, your standard bushings. There's something else you can do. Um, you know, maybe not. You don't want to do it, but it can help reduce friction, as they say. Um, it's a game of thousands, and you add this many thousands up, and you end up with a faster car, yada yada yada, whatever they say. So anyway, this is a Dremel, the 125 milling bit. Now you should use a precise countersinking bit and stuff, but what you can do to reduce the material thickness that touches the axle is you can take that and just run it for a few seconds. You can countersink that and you can reduce the material touching the axle, reduces friction. Like I said, you don't have to. It's not the most accurate way, but I've been doing it like that for, I don't know, a couple weeks now, for a long time. And I just do that to reduce the friction because of the thickness of the bushing. And then I like to use a little bit of Mother's polish here. And just doesn't take a lot, just a little bit, you know, not a ridiculous deal here. Make a little noise. And there we go. And we're just polishing. This is just improving the break-in period, but it does polish them up pretty good. This is nothing new, by the way. A lot of people have been doing this for quite a long time. And then I like to set it off first, then pull it out. And remember, if you don't have a drill bit or a drill press, you know, you can do the same thing just with a drill. Just go slow to get it started, to line up, and then just that's all you gotta do. Same thing. And then let it off, and then you can gently pull it out. There you go. You don't want to twist up your chassis or anything. So when all that's done, your axle's going to fit really nice in your chassis. Bushings are all going to be nice and clean. Let me get a paper towel here and a little bit of oil. There's a little bit of grit left over. I don't think anybody's watching. Just you and me. That's groovy. I just did it to test your computer. I bet you're thrilled now. Uh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so. This is, and then this is, what you're going for. I just cleaned it with a paper towel. Is it should just like fall out. That's just about as good as it gets for a brand new car. Is for it to fall out like that. And then as you race it, it's just going to polish and clean up even more. But that's about as friction free as you could ask for. Just, yep, you know, after a while, just a little bit of lubrication. You can put this in here. Right now, I still got some polish on it, so it's not going to drop yet, but it will. Yeah. See, I still got some lubricant, some stuff on there, but yeah, it'll drop through. And that's what you want. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something to test this system. So, yeah, don't have to use the antique. Yeah, I know, makes things much better. Anyway, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Nice and cleaned up. Yeah, man, welcome. Yeah, that's cool. Here, we'll move over here. Everybody gets to see the mess once again. There we go. I'll shut this off. So there's the progress, getting somewhere. Anyway, still got the bumpers and stuff to make, but yeah, there we go. That's about as that's about as nice as you could ask for. And it's just about ready to drop through. There we go. So I'm gonna get the motor installed here. As I put it in a video, I'll show you. Um, show you here in the video. I decided to strengthen chassis here a little bit. If I can get this to focus. Come on, you. Doesn't want to do that. There we go. I added an extra 90-degree piece of wire right here to support these tubes. So I just bent a little 90 and put it on each side on the outside, and it won't interfere with the bumpers and the suspension linkage we're going to make. But I want to beef up the strength here on these tubes before I cut the center out. So yeah, that's strong enough. Looking good. And the drop arm's looking okay. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. We get the front on here. Yeah, it's looking like a slot car. Yeah, I just got to get that hard drive, and yeah, those USB hard drives, those things are solid gold. They really, really help. There we go. Just doing a setup here, getting the wheels and tires on. There we go. So, yep, looking pretty good. Get the motor, gonna get the gear using a 1/8 bore. So, just gonna use the Palmer Repop Mid America 27 tooth. We're going to go, as we always do, just with a 9 tooth pinion, 27 crown, then any commercial type guide, your Coford, H&R, JK, whatever you want to use, Mid-America, no problem. As you can see, I've installed the sucker corner silicone wire. You don't need battery cables on these things, for crying out loud, okay? The motors, these motors are not drawing that kind of amperage, okay? So you don't have to have, you know, these massive wires, gauge wires on here. You just don't need it. This works just fine. So anyway, then the body, as you can see here, it's the modeling I was talking about with the seams, filling that in. And I was just using the nail polish there, man. And here. And there. But I didn't stop on the body either. Hey, good morning there. Glad to see you. Let me get my dude. So I glued him together, and then I added some polish there to fill in this seam. And then I'll wet sand this, and with some paint, I think it'll look all right. My granddaughter wanted to paint him. I'm like, here, go ahead. I'll clean him up. You really have to appreciate Atlantis. I know we talked about this already, but you have to appreciate Atlantis for making this kit for us, man. You know, I mean, for them to bring this back, you know, Tamiya filler putty, or their issues with cracking later. It doesn't matter what putty you use. It depends on the amount of torque and pressure and twisting you're going to do. Anything will crack over time. I mean, but honestly, Tamiya is great putty. It works well, but so does other brands. Let me see here what I have. You know, just, you know, the Mr. Hobby white putty, it works great too, for filling small seams. Once you wet sand things, and put even the standard spot putty, the red body putty filler, I just don't need a whole gigantic tube. Once you open a tube of that stuff, you know, just like any super glues or any of these glues, once you break the seal, the life expectancy goes down, right? But you know, just keeping it nice and thin, wet sanded, and then painted, it's going to last quite a while. I mean, unless I'm driving it, and then you know, nothing can survive the impacts that against the wall that I can give a slot car. So I don't care if you weld it. But Tamiya is great sanding putty. You know, Testors makes a little contour putty for their model kits and stuff. But you know, Tamiya, the Milliput and Mr. Hobby that I just showed, they all work very well. But this is for very, very small seams right here. For very small, light seams, like the body on this, for example, just putting it together. And for the driver, I just use thick nail polish and a couple coats, and it gets very hard, and then it's easy to sand. Hello there, DNA. It's just easy to sand. It's very smooth, as you can see already, but just to give that a test, I'll just get a little water here. Yeah, it's just so just a little bit of water and a little bit of wet sanding and the nail polish. See, that'll sand up pretty good, and it'll take paint very well. So getting somewhere there. See, there we go. And we'll just clean that up. See there? Look at that. Looking good. You can see the high and low spots right there. But very smooth. Just a little bit more. And just keep going with it. And if you need a second coat, then you get a second coat. Modeling there isn't a plug and play fast answer for a lot of these things. So there we go. Look at that. That's not looking too bad. And with some primer, but you can see right there, but then you have your primer, then a wet sand. But we'll get that to disappear. Now the driver, he's going to take a little bit more effort and some very careful sanding to get him right. But, to be quite honest, it won't take very much. And you can do, you just have to take your time, do a lot of this by hand, in these little tight seams, areas like that. You fold your sandpaper over, like under the chin, if you're worried about that. Which, let's face it, unless you're taking super high res close-up photos and that's what you care about, I mean, other than that, at racing distance, old boy's going to look just fine. So just go through that, wet sand, cleans the seam up. You're not really affecting the detail of the shirt or anything. Using very fine grit. This is like 1,000 grit. There you see, I'm exposing some of the blue from the primer and the nail polish. But we'll get there. We'll get them cleaned up. Is UV glue something that can be used for body construction, or is it better for other uses? Well, you can use UV glue to pin some of the parts from the inside. I think UV glue is really good for your windshields, your glass, because it won't fog. It won't leave a residue. It's very strong as a bonding agent. It's not really sandable, for a seam filler or anything like that. I think that acetone-based, and Dave will confirm this, based adhesives, your testers, model glue, your super glues, and stuff that actually melts, so to speak, that has chemical reaction with the plastic to help bond it is your best. But I've used it on the inside of body seams for repair, because it's pretty good stuff. I have quite a collection of it over here, all kinds of different types. Thinner, thicker, things like that. So I use it quite a bit. And with the flashlight, I use it quite a bit. It's very strong. But I would just use it on the inside, but it's not really sandable for your seams. But very, very durable, especially on some of the cars we've repaired down here, the way we hammer them, We do a pretty good job of breaking things. Tamiya liquid model glue is the best thing on plastic. Yeah, it's like welding. Yes, like welding. Tamiya, even the testers the same. You know, your common model glues like this. It um, it welds the plastic together. So it does a great job, um, you know, of bonding plastic. I think the modeling with that is, and Dave will probably confirm it, super thin. But I want to see what UV. You're right, yeah, super thin. You know, you could get a cheap UV glue pen off Amazon or whatever, and like I said, it comes in great for well, for doing windshields. Um, here, let me get this out. So here's just some sheet plastic that I use for various projects. It's really thin. It's good for some windshield glass, etc. Sometimes for headlight forming. It just depends on what we're using it for, lenses. But this is a good example. Um, so I'll just put a little bit right here on that corner, as you can see, and then we'll just give it a zap. And at first you will see just maybe sometimes a puff of smoke really quick, and some of them have a little scent to them. But you know, just a few seconds, depending on how thick you put it, is how long you need to use the UV light so it'll penetrate. You know, but you know, that's pretty good right there. And see, there's no, hard to focus, but there's no hazing, no residue, and there it is. It's pretty solid. One thing about using this, like on your bushings, like ready to run cars, Carrera bushings, stuff like that. I mean, it's very, very strong, but you know, if you really had to get rid of it, it's gone, just like that. Okay. So it's strong. It kind of reminds me of the quick version of silicone, like Goop or E6000. Um, you know, to me, that's the stuff that you want to use on the bushings. I never like to tell. Yeah, it works pretty good. I never like to use the super glue on the bushings or anything. It's just there's so many people that have over the years. Hey, I did this and my axle's locked up. Thanks, asshole. Well, you know, I didn't. You know, I didn't mean it to tell you that's the way. You have to be careful. You know, with using any adhesive around moving parts. Scratchable car yet? All my time is going into the diorama. Well, good for you. I really respect the people and envious that of the folks that can have, you know, the kind of fun, you know, the extensive scenery, because it does. It's really cool. It adds a lot. I mean, I have almost, you know, basically zero on the oval, but you know, anyway, these kits, the scratch building, this is all just part of it. Sometimes, you know, as you guys know, we do ready to run around here cars just as much as we do scratch building. Maybe, you know, I'd say 50-50. Just, but then again, you know, the ready to run cars, they're not really ready to run. Some of them, we completely rebuild them. So that's kind of what gets you started scratch building. Once you rebuild a car, well, it needs bushings and axles and gears, and it needs a new guide, and it needs, oh, these wheels are square. next thing you know, you've done everything but the chassis. Oh yeah, it's totally fun. So what else are you guys working on? What projects do you have in the works out there? Um, I'll let me show you. Um, I'm gonna throw something at you. I've got a few of these kits, and I've had them for quite a while. For quite a while, um, they've been around underneath the abyss, and Lindbergh's re-released them, and there's two different body styles. These are the same body styles, just different box art. But Lindbergh picked these up, and these are really cool kits in their own right. So I've got that on my radar, so to speak. Um, then I have for the showdown for the street mats. I can't get this kit out of my head. I just absolutely, this thing cracks me up. I love it. So I think I'm almost 100% sure because I'm sorry. It's groovy, man. That could be my showdown street net entry. Um, and 1/32 scale, I still have the the Ford. I have the series working on it. The chassis. I got this set up as you've seen in the other videos there that I've published. I have to get back to this. I've just been working on the giant midget, but yeah, it's all ready right there. Got the wooden mount. Just one screw. That's all it's gonna need. But I think it's looking good. So 1/32 scale. That's what I'm working on right now. Just gonna be a new, just a new chassis. So what are you guys working on? Spill the beans, man. Come on. Yeah, we're gonna do those sports. Side mirrors and detail parts. Can it flex it? It doesn't. It doesn't have much flex. It does. But it to me, again, it's a good adhesive for mirrors and stuff because it doesn't haze, craze, have that chemical reaction like Dave was talking about, like super glue can do. It's just it's very invisible and it doesn't take a lot. Let me hold on. Let me see if I can find this car kit. This model. I was working on just over the showdown. I have a couple examples here. All right, I found it. Sorry about that. I just wanted to show you a good example of the UV glue. So, um, this is so mirrors came off here and they're on the canopy. And I used UV glue here in this case from the inside, but you can see there's no hazing. So I reattached them safely to the canopy glass there, and just invisible. Yes, orange cars are fast, yeah. Good shotty Jaeger make you fast, make you something. But anyway, that's a good example of UV glue in action. And then same thing here. I did this mirror, and there's just, you can't see anything. So to me, that's the most important part. Yeah, it makes you fast. Oh yeah, I had my time with model trains. I have actually I have quite a collection from my dad and everything, and the old model railroad days where we had our slot car track. I helped some of the model railroaders, and it was into it. I had a 4x8, but we modeled the Illinois Central, just from back in the 60s, 70s, back then. But anyway, I just wanted to show you the UV glue. Cool. All right, fellas. Well, this was just a quick test. Wanted to make sure Dave's computer worked. It's all cool. And you guys, really appreciate you tuning in. I like talking with y'all. You guys have a lot of great ideas. Please share them with other, with all the rest of the folks out there. I think that's the most important thing. What I like to see the most is all the people sharing all their different ideas. I don't care if people think some of them are right, wrong, whatever they think. Just share the idea anyway. You might deliver that one little spark to somebody who's sitting on the fence, and then they jump off of it and they dive in. So just share your ideas, your thoughts, what you're doing. Share that motivation with somebody else, because believe it or not, they do appreciate it, even if they don't see it. You might get 500 likes or 500 views. It's more than you think, and just because somebody doesn't respond or say anything, I've had so many contacts over the years. Guys sitting on the fence for 2 or 3 years, and then they finally jump off and they say, "Hey, really appreciate your articles, reviews, blah blah." And that's why we keep doing what we do. So I hope to see you guys do the same thing. So, all right, well, you guys have a great afternoon. I'll see you online. You can call me names in public there. Okay, guys. See you later.